What I want to see in Spider-Man 2. More movement options. I want to be able to parkour even faster or make it through objects faster based on small button inputs, kind of like they do in the Assassin's Creed series. I want to be able to hit a contextual prompt like we do when we zip around buildings. They've already almost done this. The point launch is a very good example of this sort of a thing. I just want more specific parkour inputs to make it feel more like I'm in control of the character and more like I'm contributing to how quickly or how efficiently I'm traversing over obstacles in the world. I want it to be much faster and more of an integrated part of gameplay that Spider-Man can just zip to any spot at any given time, and that all the fighting takes place from that perspective all of a sudden. Also, I want the camera to be a little bit closer in on him so that there's more of a change of perspective when I web zip to a location. Speaking of the camera being closer, I'd actually like it to be a lot closer, like inside of his eyeballs. You heard me right, first person. I want first person mode. That's my entire pitch. I would like first person mode. That's all of the reasons I have for why I would like first-person mode. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I also want a dynamic day-night cycle. Obviously, during story missions, I'd want it to be whatever is the most optimal thing to make the story mission look the absolute best that it could. But if we could have dynamic weather, like say it could just randomly start snowing and look as good as it does in Miles Morales, or it could be a beautiful sunny day, or it could be raining, or it could be sunny after it was raining a minute ago. I don't care. I want to be able to swing all day until nighttime and then again into sunset. I want to be able to see sunrises and sunsets from the top of a building and just kind of let them go by with my sweet Spider-Man armor on. I want suits that contextually light up at night so that you can see them more brightly, obviously, in the dark, and then the lights go off during the day and look more reflective and shiny and cool in the sunlight. We could even have storms happen in the background so we could see lightning and hear thunder and stuff and feel like we're a real Spider-Man in a New York world. Anything that boosts immersion and makes you feel more like you're in a dynamic living place is good. More realistic traffic, more realistic buildings, anything along this line I'm very, very on board with. I was also hoping for more Marvel hero tie-ins, as long as we keep the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man feel of it, but obviously that leaves out certain heroes. Having Iron Man in would feel terrible. Having like the Hulk in might feel a little bit weird, but having Daredevil I think would be outstanding. Having somebody like the Punisher I think would be pretty cool. Wolverine could make an appearance, and I don't feel like that would be out of place at all. We just can't go too fantastic with it. Like having Starfire and Iceman from Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends show up would be more than a touch too far. The more grounded and realistic we keep things, certainly the better. And speaking of having friends around, I was hoping for co-op. Co-op would be amazing. I don't know if that's insinuated based on there being two Spider-Men on screen at once in the trailer, but it'd be outstanding if we could switch between Spider-Men in gameplay. That would be a very cool way to work around that. Or if I could have my buddy be Miles Morales and I'm original Spider-Man, or vice versa, and we're traversing around the town in our sweet, very customizable suits, tag teaming enemies and beating them up Spidey style, would be absolutely glorious. I'm not sure if they would be able to keep the full open world. If they sectioned it off like they do with Ghost of Tsushima Legends or Elden Ring or something like that, I'm not as pleased. But if it is truly you just have access to the entire world, you're just in your friend's game playing Spider-Man together, web swinging around and trying to impress them with how many flips you can do before you splat on the sidewalk, that'd be amazing. And also the Venom suit. I'm almost 100% certain we're going to wind up getting the Venom suit. If we don't get the Venom suit, I would like us to be able to play as Harry. He's obviously going to be Venom or have a lot to do with the Venom character. It doesn't seem like there's any Eddie Brock in this world, and that's fine. Doesn't have to be. I would like us to get the Venom suit or be able to play as Venom. I'd like him to have his own complete set of animations, or the Venom suit to have its own set of animations, where it's more based around using the goop to travel about rather than the webs. I'd like it to be maybe more aggressive, seem like it's more of a muscular thing and less of a finesse thing. Also, I'd like more choices in story modes. Like, maybe there could be choices about whether or not you choose to use the Venom suit because Peter's aware that it's making him more aggressive or something like that. Maybe we can choose who we're gonna save first in an encounter because we prioritize Mary Jane over Miles' mom or something like that. Maybe we choose which other hero we're gonna help out first in an encounter or something like that based on who could handle it better without us. Something to make it feel more like we have agency and choice in the story. It's not necessary at all. The first one was perfectly fine. I'm just coming up with things. Oh, and I need to be able to maintain stealth. Like in the first game, when you take people out in stealth in an encounter, at a certain point, they automatically trigger all enemies. They all automatically find you. Usually at the start of a second wave, they all know where you are and you can't do the entire encounter just with stealth. If I want to, I should be able to have as many options in gameplay as possible. I should have as many ways to take out enemies in combat as possible, and you already have stealth in the game. It feels really weird that you only let me do it for a couple of enemies, and then you're like, okay, now you have to do the combat thing. Just let me do, if I can get away with it, please just let me do the stealth thing. It's already in the game. Why would you not? Another thing I'd like to see in the game is Mysterio. That's my entire pitch. I would like to see Mysterio in the game. I feel like Mysterio especially lends himself towards a video game. Please put Mysterio in the game. It's probably way too late. Nobody's going to see this, but if you guys do, somehow, they won't. It's too late. It's impossible to change things now. I'm not going to ask you to put Mysterio in the game. I get it. But please put Mysterio in the game. And finally, the last thing that I wanted to ask for us to please do, or maybe not do, is to please maintain the heart that we had in the 2018 game and the love that they obviously had for Spider-Man. I do not want us to jump the shark like we were seemingly starting to do in the Miles Morales game. It can be comic book-like, it can be silly and ridiculous and over the top, but also I think the thing that was so cool about the 2018 game was how grounded and how realistic they tried to make everything, while also staying true to Spider-Man and making it feel like as much a comic book game as a Spider-Man movie game, if that makes any kind of sense. They absolutely knocked it out of the park in the 2018 game. I'd be afraid a little bit of them subverting expectations or doing something shocking and upsetting just for the sake of being shocking. Like, please don't fucking kill Peter Parker, for the love of God. But I don't see them making any of those kind of mistakes. Again, the 2018 game was so good. Between that and the Miles Morales game, those are two of the only platinums I've ever tried to get in video games, period. They're absolutely phenomenal. I'm very, very excited for Spider-Man 2. Can't wait for it to come out next year. See you guys then.